I want to see what's in the bag. Should we do that?
Well, it's not that.
No?
It's out here.
Oh, it's outside?
Yeah. So the transition into this is goes back to the soulless thing. And you brought out that book, Design as Art. And I think that there's an element of that as, you know, our desire for objects to have the things that we have to kind of have a soul or a spirit.
It's a nice book too.
Yeah.
Just
yes, beautiful.
way to go, Penguin.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park. And we were talking before about provenance and quintessence, and the object I'm going to bring out.
So before
Yeah.
provenance, do you want to give me any context? I've never really heard this term.
Okay.
Before.
Well, let's do the dictionary definition. I mean, I know what it is, but let's just do that real quick. So we just have it exactly.
Maybe we should define quintessence too, just or what we think of as quintessence.
So provenance, the place of origin or earliest known history of something. Okay. And I'll circle that back to when the object comes, because this thing had I was greatly attracted to it because of what I know it is, but then its provenance, which the people made me stay there and wait to hear the story of it, then added so much more depth to the piece that, you know, it's something I'll never part with. And it's oddly applicable to, you know, what you and I do as people trying to make work. So let's do quintessence, which we really got kind of kicked up on because Jerry Seinfeld talked about it in his episode of the GQ series. Like, was it 10,
like 10 things or something?
Yeah, like 10 things
and
that
so,
you can't live without or something like that.
And I feel like I've looked up, go ahead and read the definition. Let's see.
The most perfect or typical example of a quality or class.
Yeah. And so how I look at it is like something that is perfectly itself.
That's just what Bruno said.
Like going to, like going to
perfectly itself.
We've talked about Bagel Bin on the podcast before. It's just perfectly, you know.
What did Jerry say too? Like in the show, the Big Pen or something, one of the objects.
The big crystal. I mean, all kinds of,
Yeah, he just
things that are not, they're not trying to be anything else. They function perfectly.
Yeah. They're
perfectly themselves.
Yeah.
I
think the addition by subtraction thing, they're not complicated. There's no all this gingerbread on it. It's just
it's exact. It only and it like, you know, it's not going to do 10 things.
Right.
It's going to do one thing. It's going to do it like and maybe not like maybe it does do 10 things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
and I was positioning earlier before we started, just wondering. I'm not saying this is the case. Between the two of us, if there was a little bit of a separation, and we both have an admiration for things, you know, you got me onto typewriters, you love your Leica cameras, there's lots of stuff in your studio. I think even these flip cameras, there's something about them that is sort of so simple.
And they just work perfectly for what they need to do.
Right. That you might be the one who's drawn to quintessence, whereas... And not that you're not drawn to provenance, but
I mean, I'm with you. Some people, like I have friends and I have, you know, people who I follow also, whether it's in, you know, watches or cameras or YouTube or whatever.
Watches,
the history of the thing is the most important.
Yeah.
Over anything.
Right.
It can be quote unquote, I might look at it like that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Right. But the story gives it,
I don't care about that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't not care about history.
Right.
But I'm definitely more function oriented. And then through the function is like, how does the design serve the function?
Yeah.
I think I'm more aligned with,
Right. And I might see
That's an interesting observation that you just made, because it might be.
And again, not that I'm not drawn to quintessence and that you're not.
I think it's hard to draw. It's hard to draw like a hard line and put it on different sides.
Yeah,
but definitely,
you know, there's going to be, you know, it's a semi-permeable membrane. Like we're going to have some flow back and forth. But I think, you know, like with your coat that you had tailored, it's entirely possible that if you knew who the person was that bought it, how they got it, did they go to Italy? Were they this person? Did they have this job? You know, like. Did they wear it at this place? You know, those things might enhance make
the experience better.
Yeah.
Right.
But you wouldn't, buy and then have tailored a coat that you didn't really like
Yeah.
because of the story. Now, I might be more susceptible to that. I'm like, I don't love that coat, but God, that story is amazing. I just want to wear that story.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Now,
All right.
Now I don't think what I'm going to bring out is that, but I'll stumble through the opening of the door here to get it.
I'm
So
just
for
gonna,
those
for the
listening-
visual, I'm gonna
do the
describe it.
play-by-play.
Yeah. Matt's standing up out of his chair. He's opening the door. It's a tight squeeze because we've got the typewriter over in the corner. He's stepping out of the door. He's grabbing an object, slowly bringing it back in. It is a typewriter, so it appears to be. It is a very. Oh, that's a plastic case. No, it appears to be maybe an aluminum case. It's very light, feels plasticky. It's not a heavy metal. Okay, he's opening.
No.
It says Hawaii, USDA, Hawaii.
Kind of travel, maybe.
He's opening it. This is Hunter Thompson's typewriter. I'm just kidding.
He just gave it to me. So what we have here is a Hermes baby, right? Not a big, huge revelation.
Alex is overwhelmed with jealousy. Alex is overwhelmed with jealousy.
Well, I have two of them now, Alex. Of this exact.
Alex's jealousy has subsided greatly.
Yes.
Alex is planning his afternoon to go to Matt's house. Okay, so I'm putting a piece of paper in here.
Yeah. Here.
So Matt can give us some ASMR. This is beautiful. So it's funny. I went to the shop the other day, the antique shop with the Hermes 3000, and I was like, he's not going to sell that thing for as much as he has it listed for. There's just no chance.
Oh,
at the shop downtown in Old Market,
the 950 one.
Yeah. There's no way. But so this is it's a small typewriter. It's a journalist typewriter. It seems like
Ultra portable.
Yeah. Built like a freaking industrial.
Yeah, it has the gull wing, ink ribbon cover.
Yep, metal.
These need to be
aluminum
reformed a little bit because on my other one they click in.
You've got to send this to my guy to do the full service.
I'm kind of I'm see, this is the difference.
You want to try to?
I like to leave. I clean them up, of course, but I like to leave them.
Yeah.
Part of it is
he won't replace any of the parts.
Part of it is the cost.
But he'll take it apart and polish every one of them and
make it all nice.
Yeah.
But
anti-rust coating, things like that.
To me, the provenance makes me want to just clean it.
Yeah. See, that's interesting because I got the World War II typewriter last year and I was like, I got to get this thing functioning.
So you've said two things in your observation. You said journalist and you said World War II. So I took this up. This
isn't World War II, is it?
No. So I was at.
It looks a little later than that.
I was at. Yes, this is, I believe, a late 40s Hermes baby.
Okay.
But it still has a connection to World War II.
God, the Swiss can make something that looks nice.
Yes. This is a Swiss-made typewriter, and technically it's my third.
Yeah.
Because of that Montana Viking that I bought, which is a Hermes baby that was acquired by the Eaton Department Store of Canada and then rebadged and painted as a Montana Viking typewriter. So I have three of these.
Give us a little
clicky clap. This has something on it, so
it works great.
Sure does. The one I bought off eBay for $70 without the lid, completely gunked up. The keys barely moved up. It was a major clean job to get it back up and running, but it works great, and I use it. So I went to the Dodge County or something historical society arranges, I guess, every year this big, essentially like an indoor garage sale, a big swap meet. I don't even know what you call it, a swap meet or a flea market.
Flea market.
I don't know what the right word is, But all these people that are part of the historical society bring in their stuff that they want to contribute to raising money for the society. I believe that's what it's for. So people have books and records and glassware and old radios and all kinds of stuff in there. And I went because I wanted to check if they had any cameras. I wanted to check if they had any records, and then cassette tapes, VHS, stuff like that, media. So when I went in, I beelined it to the records. I went through a bunch. I probably pulled 30 or so records. They were $1 each. Went through the cassettes and got those going. And then some VHS tapes. And so then I'm walking through, because it was inside an old CVS. It's a huge place. I'm walking through. I look over by a big Royal typewriter, a big monster desktop Royal typewriter. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I look to the right of it and I see this typewriter in its case. And I gasped out loud. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I'm like, I know what that is. So I go over to it. I push the top buttons, pop it open, and see that it's a Hermes baby. I was honestly hoping it was a Hermes rocket.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that one. And I was hoping it was the green and all that. But that one came in like a brown leather case. And then I saw the price tag of $25.
$25, yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is coming home.
Not a $25 typewriter. Yeah.
No. Is it like $1,000 typewriter? By no means. Probably.
Cleaned up. I mean, this is actually really good condition. This is probably like a 250.
Yeah, 150 to 250, I think. Absolutely. And the provenance might help it if I can, show some connection. So as I'm sure you're all waiting for the provenance, I take this all my stuff up to the checkout, and the woman goes, oh, that typewriter, this woman here has a story about it. And I'm like, I'm all ears. She had some stuff to do. I actually went back and pulled a couple more records. She was finally done. And she starts telling the story. She gets 2 lines in, and I'm like, I'm not going to remember the details of this. Is it okay if I record your voice telling the story so I can listen to it later? And I'm so glad I had that instinct, because I would have forgotten the gentleman's name, and I don't know it right now.
Yeah.
But she essentially told a very simple story. This isn't some big elaborate thing. But the gentleman who owned this was a photojournalist, and he was a famous photojournalist who documented World War II. She gave his name. Again, I forget, so I'll put it in the show notes, and I'll be trying to do some research on him and his background.
Add that to the show notes too, yeah.
And so he used, again, I think this is mid to late 40s. I don't think that he had this actually in World War II. I don't believe Hermes had the baby out that early because he would have had to have had it in the late 30s or like right then in the early 40s. I would say it's possible, but I'm pretty sure this is the late 40s. So, he may have acquired this after the war. Maybe when he was stationed over there during, the cleanup and all that stuff, he got his hands on it and brought it home. But then here in Omaha, he used it and he inscribed the lid with Travel and Transport Incorporated, Omaha, Nebraska, which is the company that he started here in Omaha after World War II. So I'll have to look up what
Travel,
that company
yeah.
is. But, it's inscribed in here, and that's, awesome and a great part of its story. Obviously, with us trying to make work in photography and documentary and all that, while we don't do, true journalism to a certain degree, this is definitely connected to what we're interested in, what we're excited about. So if I can go back and find his photographs,
this is a very quintessent object as well.
Yeah,
this is a good,
and that's where the intersection is, right? Like I feel like this typewriter is a symbol of quintessence, and then you also have the addition of its provenance. Now, its provenance is much more meaningful to us because of photography.
Yeah.
My grandpa's a World War II veteran. It's always been something I've been interested in. And I know
the Nebraska connection,
all of that stuff. And then it was just sitting on a table at a dead CVS. And now I get to keep it and use it. And the other Hermes baby that I have, which is great and works wonderfully and all that, it doesn't have as much emotion with it because I just bought it on eBay.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's interesting is, do you know what made me buy it? It was watching Ripley on Netflix.
Did they use a Hermes?
Yeah, Hermes Baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's that typewriter?
Yeah. Beautiful typewriter. Yeah.
So for $25.
What a find. What a find.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer.